Three friends who work in movie theater were discussing that it is too late, now we have to start the movie. A girl named Bridget among those friends. Then a couple arrives there on a bike. They went to the counter to purchase tickets. Then the younger brother of Bridget, Timmy, also comes there to buy tickets. Means he was also there to watch a movie, but the friend of Bridget refuses. He says that below 18 kids are not allowed to watch a movie at night. Then the sister of that kid also arrives there. She asks him to go home. Then the best friend of Bridget also arrives there, his name was Josh. He insists Bridget to watch a movie with him. So they go and sit in the hall. Meanwhile, Josh's friends also come and sit with them. There we are also shown a detective who was there in search of a serial killer. The serial killer whom he was searching for, his name was Ted. After some time, one more friend of Josh arrives in the hall. The female friend of Josh says that the movie which we are going to watch, that movie is 400 years old. There were murders held of the people in reality. They were talking about that serial killer Ted whom the detective was searching. The detective also buys a ticket for the movie from the counter. With it, he also asks about a man while showing his picture. They don't know about him. After this, Bridget's friend plays the movie. It is shown in the movie that some friends were going somewhere in the car. But suddenly tire of their car punctures. Then a boy among those friends goes to a nearby house for help. A lady opens the door for that boy. In the hall, one more detective comes and sits with that detective. We see a strange man in the movie. He was having a tool in his hand and he was making it sharp. Both detectives were talking that since that serial killer Ted is missing, this is my first movie. That strange man in the movie was wearing a mask. He kills that boy in the car and took his body with him. We see on the counter that the drink was finished. So Bridget's friend goes to storeroom to take a drink. Seeing this movie, Bridget gets scared. That's why she comes outside while leaving the movie. There Josh comforts her and asks her to come inside. Then suddenly Bridget's friend who was gone to take the drinks was seen on the big screen. The people who were seeing the movie in the hall. They get shocked after seeing it. Then Bridget's friend hears some strange voices. Then as he begins to run from there, that serial killer Ted comes in front of him. He kills him brutally through his tool, but the people in the hall don't shock at it. Because they were taking it as a part of the movie. They were enjoying themselves while seeing the movie. Then after some time, Josh's friend goes to the washroom. That same scene was on big screen. The killer kills him in front of them. Then after hearing his voice, Bridget's friend goes to check. There she sees blood on the floor. Then on the screen we are shown the counter of that same theater. Here Bridget's friend was standing alone. Seeing it, they all get scared and they come outside to check. But they didn't find anybody on the counter. After it, they all go to the washroom and they also find blood there. They got scared after seeing it, now they were trying to come outside from there. Then the detective finds the younger brother of Bridget named Timmy. Bridget asks her brother how he came inside. On it, Timmy says from the windows. The detective was breaking the door to escape from there, but he couldn't. After checking, they come to know that there were no mobile signals. Then Bridget tells them that there is an emergency exit here. They try to open that emergency exit, but it couldn't open because it was locked. Now they all get more scared because they were stuck there. The detective tries to make them understand that if we want to be safe, we have to stay together. He tells them about the incident that happened 5 years before. He tells that there was a patient named Ted in a mental asylum. He watched movies about a serial killer for many years. He cut his hand with his teeth while watching the movie named Slashing of the Serial Killer. Then he writes something on the floor with his blood. Then he disappeared from there. In the morning, except for blood, there was nothing visible in that asylum. Actually, now Ted turned into an insane serial killer. He killed everyone in the hospital and then ran from there. When they all were talking about the serial killer, then Bridget's brother Timmy goes into the hall. That killer saw him, but he doesn't kill him, he throws him in front of all. He also comes in front of them. Then the other detective tries to convince the killer. Relax, we will make everything fine, but Ted is mad now. So he cuts the neck of the detective. When the other detective notices this, he shoots him. He falls in the hall. Now on the big screen, he was taking that detective's dead body with him. Then they all were running toward a room. They try to go outside from that window from where Bridget's brother came inside. But that window falls on the hand of Josh's friend. Due to this, she gets injured and starts shouting. While listening to her voice, the serial killer arrives there. There that detective shoots the serial killer. But those bullets didn't affect him. The troublesome part was that the bullets of that detective were also finished. Seeing all this, Josh's friend gets scared. So after getting a chance, he runs from there. The killer was dissecting the body of that detective. With it he also kills Josh's friend. Then on screen it was shown he was taking the dead body of Josh's friend with him. In the movie again we are shown that lady which opened the door for that boy. That lady was the mother of the killer. She was also insane like the serial killer Ted. She says to Ted that you have done a good job that you took one more friend with you. Then they all come outside while running. They were planning about how to stop and kill that killer. On that, Bridget says that if we want to stop killer we have to stop the movie first. When they try to go into that projector room the room was locked. They think to move inside through the window. But window was so small so they sent Timmy inside. When Timmy was moving forward that killer saw him. But Josh arrived there and attacked on killer and asks Timmy to move forward. Timmy somehow reaches the projector room. On the other side the killer was moving towards Josh to kill him. Timmy takes out the plug of the projector but that projector stays on. Then to call them inside Timmy opens the door. The man from their group knocks down the projector. Josh escapes from the killer and he goes from there. The man with long hair saw the negatives of the movie. Here he comes to know that the killer wasn't dead but he was still alive. That projector again turns on automatically. Now that killer was chasing the long hair man. He kills him badly. All the survivors move into the hall. On the screen the killer and his mother were together. Killer asks his mother that anybody is fearing of me out the screen. Hearing it the mother of the killer sees outside the window. She tells him that there is a girl outside but she is not scared. Seeing it Josh understands the whole thing. He tells them that killer can feel our fear. Then killer kills one more friend of Bridget. He was also taking his dead body with him. Watching this Bridget terrified. Josh's friend also terrified after watching this and he goes out of the hall. When the killer saw that Timmy is alone he chases him. But then Timmy runs from there and he collapses with Josh's friend. And now the killer grabbed Josh's friend. Here the killer puts his tool in the electricity socket. They both feel the electric shocks. Josh's friend burns and died because of the current but electricity didn't harm killer. Josh was in anger and then he goes to kill that killer but then that killer disappeared from there. That's why Josh returns back to the room. He gets shocked by seeing that killer had made Bridget a prisoner. He was about to kill her. Then the killer throws his tool towards Josh and it gets inside his eye and he died there. Watching this Bridget gets scared. She runs and comes to a room she locks herself there. He was scared. Now the killer was chasing Timmy he was searching for him everywhere. Timmy was hiding in the hall. Meanwhile Bridget also arrives there. She makes his brother understand that we should not get scared of him. Because fear is our weakness. If we do not scared of that killer then the killer can't harm us. Then they both siblings close their eyes and sit in the hall. Now the hall and those siblings are shown on the screen. The killer saw them and arrives there he tries to scare them. But now because they closed their eyes so they didn't feel fear. After seeing it when that killer was moving from there Bridget opens her eyes with fear. The killer knows about it and he takes Bridget with him in the movie. Bridget finds herself locked in a room where that killer was sharpening his tool. Then somehow Bridget comes out from that room. She saw that many peoples are locked as prisoners in a room. They were all injured and some were killed in them. There Bridget saw Josh and he was alive yet so she goes to him. But then the mother of the killer comes there and faints Bridget. When Bridget comes to her senses she finds herself tied. He sees that her brother is also tied with her. The killer comes to Bridget and says that I will not give you an easy death. I will kill you while giving you pain. Saying it he starts pulling her foot's nails. Due to it she shouts a lot in pain. The killer pulls her nails of foot one by one. When the killer pulls the nails off her other foot, she doesn't afraid and she doesn't shout. She bears this pain and controls her fear. Watching this the killer gets aggressive that she is not scared from me. That's why the killer throws her down. Meanwhile Bridget finds a sharp thing in her hand. Getting a chance she stabs that killer. Then she comes out while taking Timmy with her. But before they move out killer's mother grabs Bridget. He tries to kill her while choking her. But then Timmy attacks that lady from the back and kills her. Then they come out of the house and start running but the killer hadn't left them yet. He was chasing them. While running Timmy's foot slips and he falls down. Bridget lifts up her brother and shouts loudly. Because the movie of the killer was about to end. Here to save her brother he throws him outside the screen. Like this Timmy's life was saved. He was out of the screen and he is in that movie hall and here that movie ends. The projector stops. Here the movie was ended but Bridget was still in the movie. He was stuck in the movie. After some time police arrive there and Timmy tells them the reality. As he was a child no one believes him. Here this movie ends.